the legendary mages whose deaths are unknown. Before the real death stories begin, there are a few legendary names canon simply leaves unfinished. Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, and Salazar Slytherin shaped Hogwarts forever, but their actual deaths are never explained. We know their houses, their objects, their conflicts, and in Salazar's case, his extremely normal decision to leave a monster under a school. Merlin has the same problem. He is famous enough to have a chocolate frog card calling him the most famous wizard of all time, with his dates still listed as unknown. The wizarding world remembers his greatness, but not how his story ended. And Herpo the Foul is even stranger. He created the first basilisk and became one of the earliest known makers of a Horcrux. That means canon does not just hide how he died. It leaves open the worst question: did he ever truly die at all? So they belong in the video, but not as full events. Their deaths are legendary mysteries, not explainable death scenes. Rowena and Helena Ravenclaw. Rowena Ravenclaw's death is not built around war. It is built around betrayal. Rowena created her diadem, a magical object said to increase wisdom, but her daughter Helena stole it and ran away. That theft broke the family at the center of Ravenclaw's legacy. It also makes the diadem more than just a lost object. Ravenclaw House is built around wisdom, but its most famous relic is lost because the person closest to Rowena wanted that wisdom for herself. Rowena became fatally ill, and legend says she died of a broken heart. Before she died, she sent the Bloody Baron to find Helena and bring her back. He found Helena hiding in Albania, but he had been obsessed with her for years, and when Helena refused to return, he murdered her, then killed himself in horror at what he had done. That is why Hogwarts has the Grey Lady and the Bloody Baron, not because the castle needed atmosphere, because one family disaster became permanent school furniture. Centuries later, Voldemort learned about the diadem from Helena's ghost, which means her worst mistake kept ruining lives long after everyone involved was dead. The Peverell brothers. The Peverell brothers did not just own the Deathly Hallows. Their deaths became the warning hidden inside them. Antioch Peverell took the Elder Wand and immediately used it to prove he was unbeatable. After winning a duel, he bragged about the wand's power, and that was enough. That same night, another wizard murdered him in his sleep and stole it. Antioch did not die because the wand failed. He died because the wand worked too well. It made him look powerful enough to kill and valuable enough to rob. Cadmus Peverell had the Resurrection Stone, and his death was quieter, but worse. He used the stone to bring back the woman he loved, only to discover she had not truly returned. She was there, but not alive, close enough to break him, but not enough to save him. So Cadmus killed himself to join her. Then there was Ignotus Peverell, the only brother whose hallow did not destroy him. He used the cloak of invisibility to hide from danger until he reached old age. Then he passed the cloak to his son and accepted death willingly, and that detail matters later, because the cloak does not disappear into legend. It passes down the family line until it reaches the Potters. Harry's first hallow is not something he conquers. It is an inheritance from the one brother who understood death best. The Peverell's deaths are not random endings. They show exactly what each hallow does to the person holding it. The wand makes you a target. The stone traps you in grief. The cloak gives you time, but only if you know when to let go. Nicholas and Perenelle Flamel. Nicholas Flamel did not die because he failed at immortality. He died because he chose to stop using it. For centuries, Nicola and his wife Perenelle survived by drinking the elixir of life, created with the Philosopher's Stone. And the stone was not only an immortality machine, it could turn metal into gold, which means Flamel had the two things most dark wizards would destroy countries for: endless life and endless wealth. But when Voldemort tried to get the stone, Flamel and Dumbledore agreed it had to be destroyed. Without the stone, there would be no more elixir. Without the elixir, Nicholas and Perenelle would finally die. Dumbledore explains that they had enough left to set their affairs in order, which is the calmest way anyone has ever described preparing to finally die. Flamel had the immortality Voldemort wanted, and he gave it up because keeping it became too dangerous. Gellert Grindelwald and Ariana Dumbledore. Grindelwald's death makes more sense when you understand the tragedy that destroyed his bond with Dumbledore. As teenagers, Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald dreamed about changing the magical world. They were brilliant, intense, and convinced they could reshape everything for the greater good. But that dream collapsed inside the Dumbledore home. Albus, Aberforth, and Grindelwald were caught in a three-way conflict, and Ariana Dumbledore was killed by a stray spell. Nobody ever knew whose spell it was. That death shattered Dumbledore's future, broke his bond with Grindelwald, and made Albus distrust the part of himself that had wanted power in the first place. Grindelwald did not stop. He built a movement, started a global magical war, and eventually lost to Dumbledore in 1945. After that, he was locked inside Nurmengard, the prison he had built for other people. Decades later, Voldemort came looking for the Elder Wand. By then, Grindelwald was old, defeated, and trapped inside the ruins of his own ambition. But he still refused to help Voldemort. Voldemort killed him anyway. Grindelwald died in the fortress he created, refusing to serve the next dark wizard, trying the same nightmare with less charm and worse facial decisions. Regulus Black. Regulus Black died because he discovered what Voldemort really was. At first, Regulus followed the pure-blood ideology of his family and joined the Death Eaters. But then, Voldemort used Kreacher to test the protections around one of his Horcruxes. Voldemort took Kreacher to the cave, forced him to drink the potion in the basin, and left him there to die. But Kreacher escaped because Regulus had ordered him to return home. Voldemort forgot something important. House elf magic does not always follow wizard rules, and Kreacher's loyalty belonged to Regulus, not to him. When Regulus learned what happened, he understood that Voldemort had gone beyond power, beyond cruelty, and into something unnatural. So, he made a plan. He took Kreacher back to the cave, drank the potion himself, stole the real locket Horcrux, and ordered Kreacher to escape and destroy it. Then the Inferi dragged Regulus into the lake. He died alone, in a cave, turning against Voldemort before almost anyone else understood the full danger. A Black family rebel with no audience, no applause, and a final act Voldemort never even knew to fear. Lily Potter. Lily Potter's death is one of the most important magical deaths in the entire story. When Voldemort came to Godric's Hollow, James Potter died first, trying to hold him off without even having his wand. Then Voldemort reached Lily and Harry. He gave Lily the chance to step aside. She refused. She did not block the curse with a stronger spell. She did not win a duel. She chose to die instead of letting Voldemort kill her son. That choice created the sacrificial protection that saved Harry. When Voldemort cast Avada Kedavra at the baby, the curse rebounded and destroyed his body. Harry survived with a lightning scar, and Voldemort became less than a ghost. Lily's death is legendary because it proves something Voldemort never understood. Magic is not only power. Sometimes the strongest spell in the room is a mother who refuses to step aside. Dumbledore, Snape, and Voldemort. The final three legendary deaths are really one chain reaction. Dumbledore was already dying before Snape killed him. After putting on Marvolo Gaunt's cursed ring, the curse spread through his body, and Snape could only contain it for a short time. So Dumbledore turned his own death into a plan. Draco Malfoy had been ordered to kill him, but Dumbledore wanted to protect Draco's soul. Snape killed him instead, making the world think he was a traitor, while secretly following Dumbledore's final order. But that death confused Voldemort. He believed Snape had become master of the Elder Wand because Snape killed Dumbledore. So Voldemort had Nagini murder Snape, thinking the wand's loyalty would pass to him. It did not. Draco had disarmed Dumbledore before Snape killed him. Then Harry overpowered Draco, and that is the detail Voldemort misses. The Elder Wand does not need a dramatic murder scene. Defeat is enough. So when Voldemort finally attacked Harry, the Elder Wand was never truly his. Dumbledore planned his death. Snape died because Voldemort misunderstood it. Voldemort died because he never understood any of it.